Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You know on the beat every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour. You know on the beat every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs. You know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA. We the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers. Go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page. We got the Beastie merch over there. We got the Man Hour logo merch over there. Of course, you got the Team Buck merch over there and the Buckhead merch over there. As Combs is like thinking, what is the Buckheads? You guys will learn exactly what the Buckheads here is very, very soon because we give it 10 Buckheads every morning show here, right here on Man Hour, youtube.com/Man Hour. But if you guys listen to us on podcast form, be sure to leave us a ranking and also share us with a couple friends as well. Be highly, highly appreciated. But you guys are probably curious of why I am here on nighttime and not Combsy. Oh, wait, Combsy is here. The boys are back in town. What's up, Combsy?
What is going on, Buck? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? It was about to get real because, you know what? We were going at it backstage with the real Kev, who's going to be joining us here in a minute. Was going backstage because you two clowns think that this was actually a good play call that the Cowboys made last night. I don't know how the hell you could think this was a good play call, but we're going to get into it.
We are going to get into it, Combsy, because it was the perfect play call. And if you guys watch this here at youtube.com/Man Hour, there's a poll happening, and the question is simple. Did the Cowboys make the right play call to end the game there? So if you guys do not know, Mike McCarty and the Dallas Cowboys ran a quarterback sneak to gain about 20 yards to get closer into touchdown range, and the time ran out on the clock in the end. So we'll get into that here in a little bit, Combs. But on tonight's show, guys, we got the infamous way or no way. Since like we're here, let's go ahead and do the best segment of the entire week. We are going to talk to Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles, and then of course we got the Chiefs Steelers, and then of course we got the Bengals versus the Raiders. Joe Burrow with his first playoff win. But guys, the phone lines are open tonight at 812-648-HOUR. That is 812-648-4687 if you're interested in calling or texting into the show at all tonight. But let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend, the peanut butter in my jelly, the guy that is going to destroy Combs in every way humanly possible, the real Kevo. What's going on, Kev?
What's going on, gentlemen? How's
Hey,
it going?
Kev, don't take that introduction personally, man. He says peanut butter to my ladies to every guest that we have on here.
Now, I find it entertaining. I understand that I'm probably one of millions who get to be peanut butter to his jelly, but it's all good.
Actually,
yeah,
he's
basically like Will Chamberlain.
Do not try to degrade me and degrade this whooping I'm about to put on you right now. Don't.
He's the Wilt Chamberlain of the Man Hour, right? He just says it to all the ladies and it works. That's just what happens.
Think about how much I'm getting in, though, and then what kind of... I mean, I have passed so many tests since I'm Wilt Chamberlain now. It is like I'm undefeated on the test range. Let's just be honest about that.
Oh, God.
But guys, let's get into the title topic of today's show, and that is, did the Dallas Cowboys make the right call? So, like I said earlier, they ran a quarterback sneak that ultimately, cost them the game, as many people are saying, a.k.a. Beastie over there. So I'm going to give you guys the options. Kev or Brandon, do you guys want to defend your side of the story? Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Kev. Tell everybody why you're wrong, Kev.
Okay, so Kev,
tell everybody why you're wrong.
I would really love you to go first, Combs, because you seem to have everything except a different answer, like a different solution. So since it's such a bad
I've got all sorts of solutions. Pass the ball. Pass the ball.
Pause.
It passed the ball. Don't run the ball with less than 15 seconds to go and no timeouts. That's stupid. That's Mike McCarthy football, and that's why Mike McCarthy couldn't help one of the best 5 quarterbacks of all time win more than one Super Bowl, because he's Mike freaking McCarthy. He has no idea how to game manage the clock. He has no idea how to play call when the 2-minute freaking drill comes along to get his team in the scoring position. He does not have it in him. He is not a good head coach. And that play call with less than 15 seconds to go and run the ball down the center of the field with Dak freaking Prescott, and then to come out afterwards and blame the refs. We'll get into that later. To run the ball up the field with Dak Prescott, yes, you're going to say Dak Prescott should have slid earlier. Okay, great, slide earlier. And then what? So instead of trying a Hail Mary from the 45, you're going to try it from the 35. Like, what is it? You're going to get one chance instead of 2. It makes no sense.
First of all, do you understand how simple-minded this man said? Hey, just pass the ball. Oh, God, that's so simple. Let's just pass the ball, right? Let's not look at the situation. Let's not look at what's in front of us. Let's just pass the ball, because pass the ball, right? All right, whatever. We can break down. I'll break it down for those listening, because we talked about this prior, but obviously they weren't listening. So prior to the play, right? You got 3 down linemen for the there's only 11 guys on defense. You got 3 down linemen for the 49ers. You got 3 guys on the far sideline. You got either 2 or 3 guys on the near sideline. And when I'm talking about camera angle. And then you got 2 or 3 safeties past the screen to make sure nobody gets behind them. Okay. That is literally because the previous 2 plays, they let Dallas get on the sideline and get out of bounds. So it's like, okay, pass the ball. Where? If you pass the ball to the middle of the field, you virtually have the exact same result. If you pass the ball to the sideline, you're passing the ball in triple coverage because everybody knows you're going to the sideline. Again, if you slide 5 yards earlier, you give yourself 3 more seconds. All of a sudden, we're not having this conversation. You got one shot, 30-yard pass down the field. I watched Dak Prescott try to throw a Hail Mary and it not make it. I've watched every snap of Dak Prescott's career since he got there. Well, not every snap, but every game at least. I've seen him try to throw the ball 60 yards down the field, 50 yards down the field. It don't happen. It is so much less likely. What would have happened? They probably wouldn't have thrown a Hail Mary anyways. They would have thrown something, another type of hook and ladder type deal, set up blocking, almost like a bona fide screen way down the field. That's exactly what would have happened. They tried.
So, Kev, what do you give the percentages of a chance if they throw a Hail Mary pass? What's the percentages there?
From
Probably
20-80 percentages. Yeah, I'm not really good with percentage. I saw something somewhere that said it went from 25 to 35. I'm sorry, 20 to 30% if they would have threw a Hail Mary from the 40, as opposed to I think it was like 35 to 40.
Okay, so 20% to 30% versus a play you ran that gave you 0% chance to win.
You know, the play call is not what gave them 0%. It's the results and the execution that gave them 0%.
What happened with the play call?
Every play is a
Did
bad
they lose
play
after that play call?
Every play is a bad play when you don't execute. And it's easy to take your position when you are results driven in your analysis. Because let's say they get down 5 yards early, and let's say they convert a Hail Mary then it's, oh, dang, that was brilliant because and then we're critiquing San Francisco about why do you only have 3 down linemen? Why aren't they trying to sack quarterback? Why do you have so many people sitting on the sideline not actually making a play? Why do you have there's all this stuff. And if it was results driven and Dallas wins the game, that's exactly what you'd be saying. And I know what it is. You Chicago homer. You just don't like Mike McCarthy because he's been whooping that ass over there in Chicago for however many years with Aaron Rodgers.
Mike McCarthy didn't whoop nothing. That's why Mike McCarthy had to leave.
That is what your problem is. He was over
the reason why Mike McCarthy left Green Bay.
He was over there handing you them whoopings twice a year over there in Chicago. You couldn't stand it. You couldn't wait for him to leave. You wanted him to leave forever. And so you've already got this disdain towards Mike McCarthy. I get it.
Buck's my backup. No. Buck's my backup. I'm going to answer your question. Buck's my backup. As soon as Mike McCarthy.
I'm not done. I'm not going to let you interrupt me today. I'm not going to do it. Okay? Because last question. Who calls the plays, Buck? Combs?
Kalen Moore.
Oh, not Mike McCarthy. Okay.
Not Mike McCarthy.
So whose offense are they running, Buck and Combs?
Kalen Moore's offense, right?
Oh, I haven't heard us say Mike McCarthy's name yet. Should I keep going?
Yeah. Because that was actually a point of mine that I had. Good.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we want to talk all this Mike McCarthy stuff. Everybody wants to put it on Mike McCarthy. Look, listen, I'm not a Mike McCarthy like defender at all. I knew Dallas wasn't going to go far in these playoffs because they have two problems. One, their offense is vanilla and inconsistent, and two, they are too penalized. Penalties. That's literally the most penalized team the last 2 years. That is a direct reflection of McCarthy because it's the last 2 years they've been the most penalized team. They're not prepared. They get down big early every time they play a playoff game. That's a direct correlation of the coach. Why is Jason Garrett out of there? Same type of stuff. So I'm not trying to defend him here, but what I am saying is it's so easy to point the finger at the head coach, and I get why it's easy. But we've got a coordinator who's up for head coaching jobs all around the league, who's calling the plays, who's running the offense. You got a team who ran the ball 17 times, three of which were scrambles, and one was a called QB sneak at the end of the game. So if we honest, 13 times, because if they run the ball once and they get 3 yards, they abandon it. Why? Because the coordinator is a quarterback. That's just the way it goes. The problem is not the play call. The problem was, in that specific moment, the problem was execution. And honestly, Dallas shouldn't have been in the game. Let's be real for a second. Like, Dallas honestly got outplayed, but Jimmy G did Jimmy G things and threw an interception. There was almost a fumble. You know, he overthrew Brandon Ayuk wide open, running across the field. I mean, it really should have been a blowout. And if San Francisco would have scored touchdowns instead of field goals, we wouldn't even be having this conversation either, because we'd be talking about why they got the ass beat and McCarthy would be out of there.
And like you said, oh, McCarthy was whooping that ass. No. You know why I was so happy that the Dallas Cowboys picked up Mike McCarthy? It wasn't to get him out of town. It was to watch fans like yourself, Kev, that were going to have to go through the same shit that I've had to watch the Green Bay Packers fans go through, so I can laugh at you guys just as much as I laugh at the Packers fans, because I know what Mike McCarthy is. Anybody in the NFL knows what nobody understood the hire of Mike McCarthy. Nobody, other than Jerry Jones.
He's a Super Bowl winning head coach.
Company, doesn't it, Buck?
He won one Super Bowl, Buck.
How many has
he won one Super Bowl with a group?
Oh.
You're going to compare him to Matt Nagy. Yeah, that's what we're going to do here?
I was just about to say, explain the Matt Nagy hire to us.
Yeah, I can't. You know what the Matt Nagy hire was? Poor ownership. The Bears organization is trash. You want to compare the Dallas Cowboys to the Chicago Bears? That's your problem. Like, that's a bad comparison. The Dallas Cowboys are supposed to be a premier team in this league. They're supposed to be a premier organization in this league. They're supposed to be America's team.
They are America's team.
And instead, they go out and they hire an idiot like Mike McCarthy to do exactly what Mike McCarthy just did. Exactly what Mike McCarthy just did. This team was not prepared. This team was undisciplined. They were a typical Mike McCarthy-led team. And you want to talk about the San Francisco 49ers? You're right. The San Francisco 49ers, the Cowboys shouldn't have been back in that game. The Niners let them back in it. What the hell Kyle Shanahan's doing, calling a freaking pass play when you're up by 2 scores instead of just running the ball down and you're in range to kick a damn field goal? Makes zero sense to me whatsoever. So, yes, we can talk about that as well.
That was that Atlanta Falcons stuff. Kyle Shanahan passing the ball when he running the ball.
Absolutely, 110%.
I can explain the Mike McCarthy hire, and it's really simple. It comes down to Jerry Jones. So Jerry Jones, if you just kind of look at history, Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson unwarranted because Jimmy Johnson was one of those like strong personality types, you know, command the locker room. And when Jimmy Johnson is there, Jimmy Johnson's in charge. He runs his show, right?
Jerry wants a yes man.
Jerry wants a yes man. Jason Garrett was a yes man. He always was. Why? Because he started as a third string quarterback and just yes. And he's smart. No, I don't want to take anything away from Jason Garrett or Kellen Moore or even Mike McCarthy. I'm sure they're smart football minds. I'm sure they are. They could talk football. They could talk circles around us in football. We know this. Okay. Mike McCarthy is a yes man. This is why Dallas doesn't go get like a Herm Edwards. This is why Dallas doesn't go get a Jim or John Harbaugh, even though John's not going anywhere anytime soon. This is why they would never get a Mike Tomlin, because Jerry Jones does not want a coach to look at him and say, hey, get out of my locker room. I'm trying to coach my team. Jerry Jones wants to be able to be around everything. I want to see what's going on here. If I want to sit in a meeting, I should be able to come in here and sit in a meeting, and doesn't want a coach that's going to tell him, hey, look, I need you outside of the meeting. This is team stuff right now. That's what it comes down to. That's the Mike McCarthy hire, and he was the best coach available that allowed him that. Okay. Also, 2 years ago, we're not going to act like the coaching carousel was that full of good coaches. I think that the Jason Garrett fire was a year too late, and so therefore they missed out on an opportunity for a better coach because they ended up like a Brian Flores, because they ended up hiring Mike McCarthy. Or I'm sorry, because they waited a year later to fire.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have hired Brian Flores, though. They
no,
wouldn't have,
of course not. Because again, same thing.
yeah.
We need yes, but I'm just throwing out names here. That's where the hire comes in, and I think honestly, this is where you really get down to the deep. Why is it that no matter who's on the roster, no matter who's coaching on the sidelines, why is it that the Cowboys are the same Cowboys for the last 28 years, or however many years it's been? I think it really goes all the way up to the top. It's because of the type of people we're hiring. It's the type of this. It's the type. If it's mediocrity in one way or another, right? It's either mediocrity in preparation, or it's mediocrity in coaching itself, and it's mediocrity on the field. One way or another. He tried to hire Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells lasted 2 years. He tried to hire Wade Phillips. He lasted 3 years. He finally, loved Jason Garrett. Kept him probably 2 years too long. And now you got McCarthy. And what's happening is he's going to be put in a position where history repeats itself. Kellen Moore, third-string quarterback, then the backup quarterback, then he became quarterback's coach, and he became coordinator, just like Jason Garrett, head coach. They're like, ooh, our offense coordinator is looking for a job. Remember now, the Giants were going to sign Jason Garrett while he was an offensive coordinator, and Jerry gave him a bigger contract, like head coach money, to get him to stay. And then as soon as Wade Phillips started like 3-5, out of there. Let's go ahead and promote Jason Garrett. And that's what's going to happen. Dan Quinn's about to get a job. Kellen Moore is probably about to get a job. And you have to choose, either I keep Mike McCarthy with none of my coordinators, or I at least keep one of my coordinators, get Mike McCarthy up out of here. It'll be interesting. And yes, Alfred Robb, I don't know what's wrong with CeeDee Lamb. I don't know what has been going on with him the last month. Doesn't look like he wants to play football. He can't catch a cold.
He looked like he was hurt yesterday.
He's been
the way he was playing, he just looked hurt the whole way.
He's been pouting for a month. I don't know what his deal is. Like I think he was in trouble in the Cardinals game because he had to play every single snap. I'm sorry, not the Cardinals game, the Eagles game, because he had to play every single snap. They usually punish wide receivers that way, because you're running routes all day. So I don't know what's going on with that. He doesn't look like he's into it. He doesn't look like he's having a good time. But that's neither here nor there, because you got $140 or 3 quarterbacks that played over this past weekend that make make $40+ million a year. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Dak Prescott. Which one does not fit here? Right? Your quarterback has been off all season. You got a $90 million running back playing on a torn PCL. You got a backup running back in Tony Pollard who's showing promise. You won't give him the ball. You got $100 million wide receiver. Where was he at? You know what I'm saying? You got all these weapons. You got an offensive line with 2 Pro Bowlers, one of which all pro every single year in Zach Martin. What were they? Offensive line looked atrocious. It was bad all the way around. And you got down 13-0 early. You couldn't convert when you had chances. And then the penalties, and that's a direct correlation in coaching because you got an aggressive defense who's not disciplined, and it's just a mess. The Cowboys there's so many things wrong. And Jerry Jones feels like, well, if I have the talent, we should be good enough. And the problem is that's not the case.
Let me ask you a question. As a Cowboys fan, do you think that it's time for them to move on from Dak Prescott?
Well, I personally, it took me the longest to even believe that we should give him a contract. I don't remember what game it was when I was like, okay, you know what? If we pay him, I'm cool with that. Now you don't have a choice, right? This is year 1 of a 4-year, mega deal, so to speak. You don't have a choice. If you were going to move on from him, you got to upgrade, right? Is Russell Wilson an upgrade at this point? Maybe.
Deshaun Watson is.
Deshaun Watson, look,
you can't afford.
We can talk about Deshaun Watson might be an upgrade on the field, but if he can't play, he's one of those, you can't really touch him right now just because we don't know what the hell's going on. And then you got Aaron Rodgers. That's an upgrade because this is the thing. Okay, Dak Prescott. I think we can officially set him in. He is tier 2. He's not. I think he's not Mahomes. He's not Brady. He's not Rodgers. He's not. I think that we have watched Josh Allen surpass Dak Prescott. We are watching before our very eyes Joe Burrow surpass Dak Prescott. And it's kind of getting to that point where it's like, yo, dog, this is 5 years now. What we doing? And I think this is a quarterback who, when everything is going well, he's going to look great. At the end of the day, the numbers are going to look great, but he misses a lot. Even with clean pockets, there was one he threw way behind his wide receiver. Cost him, instead of a touchdown, it cost him 3 points. But I don't think you move on from him because, like, how many better options are there, especially when you got such a cap hold on him? It's going to get even worse.
I can count 3 off the top of my head: Jimmy G, Kirk Cousins, and Colmsy boys, Jameis Winston.
So personally, I really like Jameis Winston. I just like him as a player. I don't think that Garoppolo is that much of an upgrade. I think that
Garoppolo's a downgrade.
Dak is closer to Garoppolo than he is to Josh Allen or Mahomes or Rodgers, obviously.
Yep.
And then I think who else did you say? You said Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
I'm not so sure that Kirk Cousins isn't an upgrade. I understand that most people wouldn't say that, but Kirk Cousins is accurate from the pocket. Problem with Kirk Cousins is everything has to be perfect. At least Dak, to Alpha Rob's point, can make a play. Where it's it ain't there. I don't know if Kirk can do that, but Kirk sure.
The big glaring thing between Kirk and Dak is the age difference.
Is the age.
That's a glaring difference.
You're only on the hook for 3 more years with that, right? Any quarterback you bring on, can you get 3 years out of him? If that's the case, it's worth it, right? Russell Wilson, can you get 3 years out of him? Yeah. Okay, then yeah. Aaron Rodgers, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, Wilson, Rodgers is an obvious upgrade. Deshaun Watson is an upgrade. Kirk is a borderline upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like what you get out of Kirk, you can get out of Dak. Like it's close. You know what I mean? Like they put up similar type numbers, and they both have problems showing up in big time games.
It's definitely a conversation that can be had. Absolutely.
But the rest of them, Garoppolo's a no for me. Russell Wilson's a no for me. Those types of guys to me are, for one, look, Russell Wilson's just old, and Russell Wilson is just Russell Wilson's not the same player he was 3 or 4 years ago.
Nope.
And so I wouldn't go after Russ.
Well, it's funny because, and people don't talk about this. Remember at the beginning of last season, they were doing all that hollering about let Russ cook. They started letting Russ cook, and look what the Seahawks look like right now. They need to get back to running that football. So,
well, they need to move on from their head coach.
And that might be another conversation as well, but
Yeah, they have retained him for next season. But guys, we are up against that first break here. On the other side of the break, we got the infamous Way or No Way, brought to you by Yeats Sunglasses. Head over to YeatsOriginal.com. Use promo code MANHOUR, save yourself 10% at checkout. But of course, guys, we are missing the obvious blaring question, or the blaring answer that is a better upgrade than Dak Prescott, and that is a top 15 quarterback in himself, Mr. Red Rocket, Chicago Bear backup quarterback right now. That's Andy Dalton. Let's just be flat out honest. He will be an upgrade from Dak Prescott. But guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour.
You're an idiot.
I'm home from work and relaxing.
I watch Man Hour while doing dishes.
In bed, hiding from my wife and kids.
What do you do when your husband and kid are obsessed with the Man Hour? You watch it with them.
Watch the Man Hour. Check it out.
Have you ever wanted to go to Vegas to see the NFL draft? Well, now you can. Simply head over to youtube.com/manhour, click on that join button, become a $5.99 member or higher, and you get free entry. Simple as that. So head over to youtube.com/manhour and hit that join button. You won't regret it.
watch Man Hour. Hit that like button, baby.
Man Hour Nation, it's your boy BC Brandon Combs coming to you with a special message. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Now, that's 22 too many. And here at the Man Hour, we want to bring awareness to this. Our brothers and sisters deserve our support and our help with the Take 22 merch. It's a small opportunity to show our appreciation and support to our veterans and take a small step to ending veteran suicide and treating PTSD properly. Every dollar spent on our Take 22 merch will be donated to the cause. So Man Hour Nation, rise up and show your support.
Check the mic and make sure it sounds right.
I'm home from work.
What is going on, Man Hour Nation? It's your boy BC Brandon Combs coming back at you with Buck and the real Kev. It's time for Way or No Way, and we are going to come at you guys. You guys know what this segment is all about. I give them guys topics. They tell me whether it's a way or a no way, and then I tell them why they're wrong. You guys ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
All right. So first one. This is a funny one after what we just talked about too. Now, I wasn't expecting Kev to be here. So, way or no way, Mike McCarthy will get another head coaching job in the NFL.
Is this not excluding Dallas? Like after Dallas?
Yeah, after Dallas.
No way.
No way. I mean, that's it, Mr. Kev, Mr. the real Kev, Mr. Dallas Cowboy fan himself. Come on, man. That's all you got.
Here's the thing. I say no way, but I honestly don't even mean it because you know how the NFL is. It just recycles these coaches. We saw Jeff Fisher get job after job after job after job. So, like, I say no way because Lord knows he shouldn't be getting another head coaching job. He's not a defensive guru or an offensive guru. He's really just a coach. And so he can't go work his way up to be a coordinator and then come back to be a coach. So I really don't think that, like, I don't think that he has, like, anything that makes a team like, dang, we need a head coach. We need to improve our, X, special teams, defense, or offense. Let's go get McCarthy. And so I'm going to have to go with no way.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with no way as well because there are three factors leading up to this point. One, Dallas Cowboys are not going to fire Mike McCarthy. No how, no way. He is going to retire as a Dallas Cowboy, and he's going to lead them to their promised land next year. That's right. I'm already talking about next year. Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl next year, baby. And I don't care what they do.
He just jinxed you guys again.
The only thing they need to improve on is the referees, man. The referees need to improve their sprinting game because that referee in the backfield, he was doing his damnedest. He was sprinting, and that guy ran like a 60 or a 6-second 40-yard dash. We need at least refs that can run a 5.5.
That's why he's a ref.
That is minimum. So no way Mike McCarthy ever gets another job in the NFL because he's going to retire as a Dallas Cowboy in about 5-10 years.
You're an idiot. And this is absolutely a no way. Look, there's no way on earth. The only reason why he got a head coaching job after Green Bay was because Jerry Jones needed somebody who was going to come in and be his lapdog. That is the only reason why Mike McCarthy got another head coaching job. It's the only reason why Mike McCarthy is employed right now. Anybody else would have been waiting for him to come back to the locker room and would have been like, sorry, guy, you're done. After that display, he would have been fired in any other organization. So no way Mike McCarthy does not get another head coaching job. And to your point here, let's move on to the next way or no way.
Yes, way.
Dak Prescott and Cowboys fans blaming referees for their loss is weak.
That's absolutely weak, man. That is. Here's the thing. You could be upset that you got called for so many penalties. I understand, holding probably happens on every play. There are certain penalties that are okay because it's just like that's an aggression penalty. It happens. But we're talking about defensive holding on run plays, guys. We're talking about illegal use of hands. We're talking about of your 14 accepted penalties, which you really had like 16. Of your 14 accepted penalties, 8 of them either gave San Francisco a first down or took a first down away from Dallas, because you can't stop jumping off sides, because you can't stop getting false starts, because you can't stop holding on offense, because you can't stop putting hands to the face on the defensive line. You're holding because you're slamming people down on run plays. That's you. That's you. And so to come all the way down with we should have been able to get the snap off, the referee's bumping into me, like, that's weak. I know you're upset, but you got to put that on you. You got to tighten up on all facets of the game. You don't put the game in the hands of the referees. We've seen how trash they've been all season. We've seen how trash they've been for the last 3 seasons. So you can't let the referees ever become a factor. You got to do everything right and everything to keep it out of their hands. And if you don't, you can't blame them when they mess up.
Yeah, and this is a no way for me as well. I mean, you should never place the game in the referee's hands, just like Kev just said there, though. But on the flip side of the coin, this is the game that like everybody wanted to see, because the 49ers matched up best versus the Dallas Cowboys, and all you Dallas Cowboys haters out there definitely wanted to see them lose. So Combs, let me ask you this question before you let me give you, or before you say way or no way on this issue. Have the NFL referees been terrible all season long?
Oh, they've been garbage all season long.
We seen
in every game? I haven't seen one good officiated game all season long.
Not even the Bengals Raiders game where they blew the whistle and then whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, right. I mean, just Cowboys fans, they need something to whine about. I mean, I am a passive Cowboys fan. Kev is a real Cowboys fan, and I'm not calling Kev a whiner, but Cowboys fans need something to whine about, because it is always them boys, and it's not them season anymore. It is next year, though. We are going to dem Super Bowl next year with dem boys, with D Mike McCarty, or dem Mike McCarty, and Kellen Moore will be gone because that offense is terrible. Let's hire Jason Garrett.
Buck, if I look, Danny, if you're watching this, Mr. Buckheister, if you're watching this, Mama Buckheister, if you're watching this, don't let this man back into Kansas City ever again. This man's a disgrace. Look at him wearing that Cowboys stuff, talking about them boys and we going to them super. Like, he's a damn Cowboys fan. You are a freaking Chiefs fan.
You're right.
And you're talking about the Cowboys like you've been sitting there loving them all your life.
Well, technically I have since '96.
Just shut your mouth and know your role. You are out of your mind. You are just as weak as Dak and the Cowboys fans blaming the referees. That's absolutely a way. Moving on.
Yes, way.
Winner of the Rams versus Cardinals will upset the Buccaneers.
No way. Because I think they have a chance. But I think that the Rams are the team that have the chance. But I don't think the Rams beat the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the Cardinals get the Rams tonight. I don't know what the score is so far.
Nothing.
0-0 still. So I think the Cardinals have the best chance, but then the experience of Brady, well, I just don't see it. The reason why they have a chance, though, is because neither team really runs the football like that well. They don't, running the ball is not really what, it's through the air, and that's where you can get the Bucs. The Eagles obviously can't pass the ball. But I just don't see it. I think we're in store for Brady Rodgers. That's how it goes. So I'm gonna go in no way on that one.
So I am going to go with yes way, because first things first, the Rams are going to beat that Cardinals ass, because the Cardinals absolutely suck. I've been saying it all season long. They're overrated, overdrafted, and with J.J. Watt coming back, who cares? J.J. Watt's going to get hurt in the first half again. Let's just be flat out honest about that. His little old ass can't even carry a grocery bag up the stairs like without hurting his back. So the Rams and the Bucs, we are going to face off Matthew Stafford versus Tom Brady. And exactly to what Kev's point here is, the Buccaneers have a problem stopping the passing game. Although the running game has been, or the run defense has kind of been suspect for them the last couple games. This first playoff game, they obviously stepped up and shut down the Eagles pretty handily. But of course, they jumped out to the 14-0 lead or 17-0 lead really, really quick there. So the Eagles had to get away from that running game. But the Rams are probably one of the most complete teams in all of the NFC besides the Dallas Cowboys. And and they have a legitimate shot of beating the Buccaneers, and they will beat the Buccaneers by 3 points.
Kev, just question for you real quick. Do you want to do a show with me? Because I hate this guy right here. Like, I can't with this guy right here. The Cardinals have been trash all year. The Cardinals suck. Yeah, they're a horrible 11-5 team. I mean, just atrocious.
They are.
And oh my God, this is a way for me. I think either one of these teams has exactly what is needed to beat the Buccaneers. They've both got front sevens that can get to Tom Brady, and that is the recipe for beating the Bucs. They get to Tom Brady, get him uncomfortable in the pocket, force him to throw the ball into tight situations. That's the way to beat Tom Brady. Also, you can beat Tom Brady through the air. Both of these teams, like Kev said earlier, both of these teams can get into a shootout with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and outscore the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both of these teams have an absolute shot to upset the Buccaneers, and I think that they will. I think the winner of this game is the NFC representative in the Super Bowl.
That's wrong.
No way.
Okay.
Yes way.
Next one, moving on. 2 left. Bill Belichick allowing Brady to walk will be the reason he never wins another Super Bowl.
I see what you guys are doing here. The reason I'm going to say no way. The reason why, if he doesn't win another Super Bowl, will be because it's freaking hard to win a Super Bowl. Not because one player left. I don't think with the roster they have constructed, they would have won the Super Bowl this year if it was Tom Brady instead of Mac Jones. I don't think they would have won the Super Bowl last year if it was Tom Brady instead of Cam Newton, because at the end of the day, Baltimore was a better team than New England last year. Kansas City's been a better team than New England for the last 3 years, 4 years. The Bills are a better team than New England. Tom Brady or not, let's just keep it 100. And the Titans, when healthy, have already shown they could beat New England and Brady. So I just don't think that they would have had a lot of success anyway until they decide to open it back up, go get a weapon, at least one, maybe two, that can really turn around that offense. So I'm gonna say no way, because there was no. I don't think he would have won another Super Bowl with Brady anyways.
Yeah, and I'm with Kev on this point 100%. It is a no way for me as well, just because, like what Kev said, it is freaking hard to win a Super Bowl. Even the best quarterbacks only have 2 and 3 tops, right? Hell, Eli Manning, which was probably going to go into the Hall of Fame because of his name, has 2 Super Bowl rings, and even though a GOAT quarterback of himself, Aaron Rodgers, only has 1. So, I mean, that just shows you how hard it actually is to win a Super Bowl. Now, on the flip side of that coin, Bill Belichick did not let Tom Brady walk. They offered him a contract. Tom Brady said no, so Tom Brady walked away. They didn't like really push him away or allow him to walk away. Tom Brady walked away at the end of the day. So will Bill Belichick win another Super Bowl? No way, because the AFC is so stacked right now. You have legitimately 10 teams this year that could have won the Super Bowl, and New England was one of them, but of course they just played a better team in the first round, unfortunately. But no way, he won't win another Super Bowl.
Bill Belichick has won 8 Super Bowls, so he doesn't. It's not like you say it's hard to win Super Bowls. The best quarterbacks only win 2 or 3. Well, Tom Brady's won 7. Bill Belichick as a coach has won 8. He's won 6 as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator. The man knows how to win Super Bowls, and it's been proven. So had he put his ego aside, mended their fences with Tom Brady, and it was his relationship with Tom Brady that made the decision easy for Tom Brady to walk. That's why Tom Brady wanted out. Ever since Jimmy G was in the picture, that Bill Belichick has wanted to go away from Tom Brady, and that was the storyline all throughout. And their relationship was really, really diminished in those last few seasons that Brady was up in New England, and that's a fact. So that's why I posed the question the way that I did, is because Bill Belichick not putting his ego aside, he would absolutely. I believe he would have won with this team this year. I think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady would have won a Super Bowl. If Tom Brady is on the Patriots this year, I think they would have beat the Buffalo Bills. I think that they would be a favorite to win the Super Bowl. I think they would have won the East with Tom Brady as their quarterback this year. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's made a career out of taking subpar offenses in New England with really good defenses and winning Super Bowls with them. He's just done it his entire career. I don't know how. I'm not saying that he's a more mobile quarterback than Mac Jones. I'm not saying he can make more plays. It's just Tom Brady, and that's what he does. So how
can you start your soliloquy talking about how Bill Belichick just knows how to win Super Bowls and then turn around and say, but because he let this quarterback go, he's not going to win another one? Like, either he can win without the quarterback or he can't. If he can, which is what you so eloquently.
Yeah, I said he can't.
No, you said he can because he won 6 as a coach and 2 as a player. So 2 as a coordinator. So he knows how to win Super Bowls. You were so beautiful with your soliloquy to then contradict yourself and say, but if he doesn't have this player, he's not going to do it. So obviously he don't know how to win Super Bowls that well if he doesn't have Tom Brady. That's what you're saying.
Well, thanks for calling me beautiful. I appreciate that. I don't hear it often enough, but I appreciate that, Kev. Second of all, he did know how to win Super Bowls, but with Tom Brady, that was the tandem. That was the tandem, and Brady was the one that made it happen. It was Brady's way. A lot of people say it's a Patriots way. It's clear since Brady went to Tampa that it's actually the Brady way. And so, for me, Brady was the key cog in those Super Bowls.
Okay, pause, Combs.
So, yes.
You are so full of shit. You are so full of shit right now. So you are telling me not the all-star roster that they constructed down there and Tampa Bay didn't help them catapult them to the Super Bowl, right?
Oh, you're done?
Oh, no. So you are telling me that the Brady way is constructing a all-star lineup? Is it
no?
Like
I'm
that
telling
the
you
true Brady way?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What
the Brady way is
Leonard Fournette,
the Brady way is Brady
Antonio
Brady
Brown?
taking over the play calling. Brady, yeah. So what? So they brought in Antonio Brown, who did what?
He led them to the Super Bowl.
Moving on. Next one.
What?
Last one.
See, Kevin, this is what happens. When shit gets real,
Cole's like,
battle
of wits with an unarmed man.
I'm from Chicago, baby. Come on, now. Whoa. I'm from Chicago. You guys better calm down. All right, Combs, next one.
I'm going to knock you out.
Yes, make sure you bring a stepladder, big dog.
Oh, God.
Every time.
All right. Moving on. Last one. A-Rod moving to a Manning Cast style broadcast for Sunday Night Baseball is going to increase ratings.
Absolutely not. No way. Is there a hell no way? There's the ratings with baseball have a lot more to do with. I mean, there's so much more to do with that than the broadcasts of baseball games. And this is coming from someone that doesn't watch a lot of baseball, because newsflash, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. It's not entertaining to watch. It might be fun to go to. It might be fun to go on a date, take the kids to the ballpark. It might be fun to sing.
Thanks for joining the show, Kev. This is your last show on the Man Hour. I appreciate you showing up.
It may be fun. It may be fun singing the songs with the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and the Cracker Jacks and all that. But hey, dude, sitting on your couch watching 5 hours of, you might get 3 hits. Or it's like when baseball's at its most entertaining, when people are hitting home runs, they're on steroids. Like when baseball was at its peak, everybody was on steroids. I don't want to hear it. Like you done cleaned it up, and now you're talking about the rules. They got people stopping the game because people are doing the stuff with their hands, and they got to make sure people ain't cheating. You gotta.
Are you done? I asked, is A-Rod going on a Manning Cast? Going to boost?
A-Rod is trying to develop his own Manning Cast. And the Manning Cast was not brought to increase NFL ratings. It was just brought because you got to find a way to put the Mannings on TV. A-Rod ain't the Mannings. It's not going to increase ratings. Stop trying. You want to increase ratings? Take it all down to 7 innings. Make that overtime rule 100% like it was in the playoffs or whatever. And then okay, and then maybe it'll be more entertaining, and then just get some better color commentators. No way.
Yeah. So first things first. I think the Manning commentast is the worst thing in the world, because if I wanted to listen to Snoop Dogg and Roger Goodell and like all those people smoke weed, and like I could care less about that crap. I want to watch the game. I don't care what the Mannies are joking about during the game. I could care less about that. If I want to watch a game besides the game, I want to watch Soup Boss live react to the Patriots game right here on Man Hour. That's what I want to do, because the Mannings are complete trash. So Combs, you know when people try to like force comedy down your throat, and yes, Peyton and Eli have their own dry sense of humor, right? But it's not funny. And I'm a funny guy. I own a clownfish, and I know what funny is, right? So just to no, but A-Rod trying to do. Sorry, I watched. I watched Finding Nemo today, but yeah, I mean, basically, I think it would be successful in baseball aspect, just because there is so much time to fill in between pitches, in between innings, to where you can actually have a conversation and interview somebody while watching the game. Because just like what Kev said, it's 5.5 hours long. You have so much content to fill. They pitch the ball 97 seconds later. They pitch another ball. So yeah. Watch A-Rod smoke dope with Snoop Dogg and get his chain and hang it on the wall. So I'm going to revert and say, wait, I'm kind of excited about it.
Oh my! All of that to change and say way.
Yeah, I talked myself out of it. I got my clownfish, baby.
All right. So first things first, Buck. The Manning cast sometimes is actually entertaining. Like when they had Gronk on and when they had Brady on, it was funny to watch the banter go back and forth. You know, Manning talking about winning Super Bowls against Tom Brady and that type of stuff. That stuff was fun. It was good banter back and forth. The when they had Gronk on was freaking hilarious. So some of that stuff can be good. And some of that stuff I'm okay with. Like I have tuned in a couple times to the Manning cast, but you're right. I'd rather watch the football game and watch the live telecast. Second of all, Kev, 5.5 hours. You know, the average length of time of a Major League Baseball game in 2021 was shorter than the average length of game in the NFL this year.
More action,
but there's so much more going on in the NFL.
3 hours and 10 minutes. No, look, Kev, it's okay. It's okay if you don't understand baseball. It's kind of a smart person's sport, so I forgive you. But anyway, people that don't understand the art of the game, I forgive them because they don't understand the beauty of the game.
No, I understand the ignorance of unwritten rules. Hey, I'm up 8-0, so I can't hit a home run when you put it right down the middle.
You're right.
Of the plate.
That's stupid. People who believe that way are stupid.
Hey, if you don't want me to hit it, don't give me a hittable ball.
I agree with you.
Hey,
I agree with you. And
how about when you hit the ball, don't make me wait 90 seconds where I can get up, go to the bathroom, get some more chips and salsa, sit down, and it's still 0-1. And then don't make it where when they want to fight, because they all act like they want to fight. They all soft out there for baseball players. They act like they want to fight. Oh, I want to run the mound. I love how I go watch somebody rush the mound, and they both swing with their eyes closed, and then they miss. And then all of a sudden, everybody's there pulling each other off. Nobody actually ever hit anybody, but yet 3 people got fired.
Apparently, you've never seen Pedro throw Don Zimmer to the ground.
Jesus Christ. Baseball.
Anyway.
3.5 hours when you only watch something happen every 90 seconds is a lot longer than 3.5 hours.
It's okay.
When there's things going on.
I'll still watch 12 hours of baseball a day. That's just me.
Anyway, you have Cubs gear on. You don't mind watching mediocrity. You have a Bears helmet behind you.
Says the Cowboys fan.
Baseball is the most mediocre.
Says the Cowboys fan.
Sport to watch in the history.
Anyway, moving on. A-Rod
so Colm, was that way
will not increase rating. A-Rod will not increase ratings. A-Rod is a clown. Nobody wanted him on the Sunday night broadcast. So ESPN was like, oh, you guys want him off the Sunday night broadcast? Okay, cool. We're going to give him his own broadcast on a separate channel to do the same damn game, to talk about stuff. Nobody's going to watch. Nobody likes A-Rod. Not even J-Lo when she was dating A-Rod liked A-Rod. Nobody likes A-Rod.
So like, is A-Rod? So obviously, and not trolling. I don't watch a lot of baseball. So how did this come to be? Like, he was on the. You said he was on the Sunday night.
He was on the Sunday night broadcast. He was terrible. I mean, just absolutely terrible.
So he was like Booger McFarland on the Monday night.
Yeah.
He was worse than Booger McFarland. Booger McFarland, at least every once in a while, had something, that was relevant to say. A-Rod's never had anything relevant to say.
Booger McFarland would be like, yeah, well, if you run the ball, the clock keeps moving. That was all Booger McFarland would say.
Yeah. And A-Rod would say,
him.
if he throws it in the strike zone, it's a strike. He was terrible.
So he's
Absolutely
not like funny
atrocious to
or
watch.
entertaining in any way. Like he's just
No.
A-Rod.
Nope, he was A-Rod. The most time he was entertaining is because you could laugh at him and be like, "God, you're freaking retarded."
But to your point, I think that the Mannings like funniness is so overrated. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
they're not that funny.
They might make you chuckle every now and then. And yeah, the banter, like with them having Brady on, Marshawn Lynch is hilarious, Snoop Dogg's hilarious, blah blah blah.
It was kind of funny when Peyton talked his little brother into flipping the double bird on TV, though. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, but I mean, like they might as well. Like, why don't they just do a podcast then?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
We don't need to watch it during a football game
Because you can't do a podcast, as we've proven. You can't do a podcast and show the game.
Yeah,
even if you're the Mannings.
Yeah,
All right, guys,
I'm with you on that one, Buck.
We are up against the second break here. Kev, as always, thank you for joining us here. Are you back on air?
Not quite, not yet. Still working through a couple kinks. Still trying to get this clean break with Belly Up. It's kind of been a bit of a mess. So but again, all those who are waiting for me to get back on, make sure you catch up on all the bottom line stuff and all wherever you get your podcasts. There's plenty of episodes to listen to until I get back. So I'll be back soon.
All
right.
There is a spot for you to fill here on nighttime if you're interested. Just pointing out.
Talk to me nice. Talk to me. Hey, talk to me. For real.
I'll hit you up.
All right, guys.
All right.
So we are up against the next break here, and we'll be right back after this. All right, guys. We are.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheisel and Brandon Combs tonight. You don't see me very often here at the nighttime time, but we are doing the best we can here, and it is good to be back with my man Beastie Combs here on the Man Hour. Beastie, Kev was a great guest tonight, and we definitely need to probably start working him a little bit more here on the Man Hour, because we do have some big things hopefully coming with Kev here very, very soon here, guys. But if you guys are new here, consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Consider watching us on Facebook Live as well. YouTube.com/Man Hour. If you miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and of course Roku TV with Northeast Streaming Sports. And of course, we are a part of Belly Up Sports Network as well. Also, we do upload the clips each and every day over here, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right here on youtube.com/Man Hour. So, Combs, we've had a great session so far tonight. We've had Way or No Way. We talked a little bit of the Dallas Cowboys here, and there were some questions that I needed to ask about the Dallas Cowboys still. Not so much on the Dallas Cowboys side, but more on the 49ers side here. So we did see the 49ers kind of give it up toward the end. We saw Jimmy G make some bad passes and some bad reads and overthrow and interceptions, etc. And many people have said that this is Jimmy G's last year in San Francisco. But did this playoff win and the way they won or almost lost, it depends on what side of the fence you get you on here. Did this solidify or make Jimmy G's future shorter in San Francisco? Will Jimmy G be a San Francisco 49er next year, Combs?
Short of winning a Super Bowl, the answer is no. If he wins the Super Bowl, they might keep him. Shanahan might find a way to coexist with Jimmy G. But short of that, no. They will not retain Jimmy G. I've said it a couple times now. I think that Jimmy G for Kirk Cousins is a real possibility. I think even though they're really pretty much the same quarterback, you've got a guy in Minnesota who the fans, or maybe even coaching staff might not want. And you got a guy in San Francisco who the coaching staff clearly does not want. So I think that it's kind of a perfect trade scenario, somebody who fits into both systems. I think San Francisco really wants to get rid of Jimmy G so that they can bring in Trey Lance.
Right.
And I think since you're not married to Kirk Cousins, you could trade for Kirk Cousins, and you could still end up starting Trey Lance. You let him compete for the starting job in the preseason and go from there. I don't think Jimmy G is the quarterback in San Francisco next year. I think they're done with him.
Yeah, so the one thing about the whole Kirk Cousins thing is I think if you were to trade for Kirk Cousins, doesn't he have like 4 years left on his deal? If I'm not mistaken, he still owed like $60 million or so. So if you were to bring him on, you'd have to bring on that salary, and I'm not for sure if they could afford that. I mean, I haven't looked at the salary cap by any means. Like this is kind of just playing like in my head here. I mean, like I feel like they would have to bring on that large salary cap, and they have some players that they need to sign. Deebo Samuel, by far the best threat on the 49ers, hands down. He is doing amazing things over there. But the San Francisco 49ers, Combs, do play the Green Bay Packers next week. However, the question is, are the 49ers a legitimate threat in the NFC playoffs right now?
So the 49ers are a legitimate threat. I think they're a threat to the Green Bay Packers. I think they're a threat to anybody in the way. I think they can beat anybody. There's so much parity in the NFL that to me, there's not one team that is heads and tails above another team. And so, yes, I think that they are a threat. I think every team in the NFC is a threat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I also think the 49ers are a threat to everybody except for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can orchestrate a game plan on the defensive side of the ball to totally wipe the 49ers off of the map, much like what they did to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They can, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are starting to look like their playoff selves from last year. That defense is starting to look good. Tom Brady is rallying the troops, like around him. Almost like they trimmed off the fat and they got more impressive when they lost Antonio Brown, almost like I want to say. We will be talking that here more in a lot, like in a tad bit here. But yes, the 49ers are a legitimate threat to everybody left in the playoffs except for the Buccaneers, because they can beat the Rams, they can beat the Cardinals, and they can beat the Packers as well. 100% legitimate. So
yeah,
go ahead.
I just checked on the Kirk Cousins only has 1 year left remaining on his deal. He signed a 2-year deal at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so he has 1 year left on how many millions of dollars?
I believe it's 23 million.
23 million. Okay, that's kind of pocket change, right?
Yeah, if you look at it, way back when, who was the backup quarterback for the Giants this year? The long neck.
Mike Glennon,
I can't think of his name.
Or
Mike Glennon. 4 years ago, before they drafted Mitch Trubisky, Mike Glennon got an $18 million a year deal from the Chicago Bears.
Well, that's very Chicago-esque, right?
Yeah.
So speaking of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Combs, they flexed on the Eagles this weekend, 31-15, and those 15 points were all kind of mop-up duty in the end. After this game, though, there has been like a lot of injuries happening on the Buccaneers side, but we just talked about the San Francisco 49ers being a legitimate threat in the NFC, but are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the favorite?
Well, yeah. Anytime Tom Brady's your quarterback, you're the favorite, right? Because, nobody bets against Tom Brady in the playoffs. It's just a bad bet to take. So I guess you would call them the favorite. I don't think that there is a favorite, though, in either conference. I don't think you can have a legitimate favorite, not in this NFL this season. There is so much. I just talked about it. The parity in this league is phenomenal from top to bottom. And any team in this playoffs, other than the Eagles, really had a chance to go on a run and win. And that included the Raiders. That included the Patriots. You could have seen any one of those teams win and you would not have been surprised because of the parity in this league. And it's so close. And especially with the teams that are left, are you going to tell me that you think that Tampa Bay is that much better than Green Bay, that you're absolutely going to pick them to beat Green Bay if they face off in Lambeau in the NFC Championship game, other than the fact that the Packers don't do anything but lose NFC Championship games?
Well, yes.
Yeah, and the same thing with the AFC. Do you really think that Kansas City isn't as good as Tennessee? Do you really think that the Buffalo Bills can't pull something off in Kansas City and beat the Chiefs? Do you think that they can't beat the Tennessee Titans? Those are the things that in this league right now, there is not a clear favorite, even a Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah. Just to say that anybody is a favorite is kind of a stretch. But if we had to pick a favorite, I'm not going to pick the Bucs. Just because of the injuries that they had. The offensive line has injuries. Their wide receiver core is down to Scotty Miller and Mike Evans, right? And Mike Evans is injury prone for his whole career. And then Gronk is obviously injury prone as well. And then the whole secondary is on IR. It seems like. So my favorite is not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the NFC side. My favorite right now, as it stands, would be the San Francisco 49ers, just because I think they do have the most complete team. I sat here at the beginning of the season, and we flash back to a couple years ago, if the 49ers would have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, we would be talking about the San Francisco 49ers as a dynasty, as the next great dynasty, not the Kansas City Chiefs, because the 49ers have everything in place. They have a great defense. They have a good offense. They have a head coach that is growing and improving each and every year. The only reason why they lost that Super Bowl was because their head coach decided to try to go neck and neck with the Kansas City Chiefs, and you couldn't do that particular year. So, Combs, with all that being said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did flex on the Eagles pretty bad. Jalen Hurts was 23 for 43, 258 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Like I said, most of that stuff was in mop-up duty till the very end. But is it time for the Philadelphia Eagles to move away from Jalen Hurts? Is this Jalen Hurts project over, or does he want to add more weapons to like around him in the draft? What's the answer in Philly? Is Jalen Hurts in or out?
It's Philly. I don't know. Jalen Hurts got to be out because he's Jalen Hurts. He's not the answer. I said this last year when he came in and everybody's like, oh, Jalen Hurts. He was not the answer. Jalen Hurts is not the guy. He is a stopgap type quarterback. He's a guy who is a decent enough backup. He is a guy who can take the reins while you search for the guy who is going to take over for years to come. So I don't think Jalen Hurts is a guy. I would move on. I would go and do whatever I could to find myself a franchise quarterback, whether it's through the draft or whether it's through a trade or whether it's through free agency. You need to go out and you need to do something. And you need to do something big at the quarterback position because it's not Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this is his first full year as a starter, right? Because he came in, halfway through second or last year? Or, I feel like he missed the first part of the season. I can't remember for sure. But I feel this is his first full season as a starter. So how long do you legitimately give a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, time to improve as a quarterback, as a true starter? And I think that answer to that question is at least 2 years. He needs 2 full years as a starter to get a good read on him, because first year he was treading on water. He was a sinking ship. He got thrown in the fire, and yeah, he did a couple great things the last 3 or 4 games of the year, and like mop up duty when it didn't matter. Yes, I know they're still fighting for a playoff position with 3 wins or 4 wins or whatever it was, right? But all that doesn't matter because this is his first year as a starter. They have no weapons on the outside. It was a first-year head coach. All this other stuff. So give him an extra year, because if you look at this year's draft, I know we haven't had Torrey on yet, but the draft this year is terrible for quarterback range. And if you look at free agent quarterbacks around the league, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to come to Philly. Who wants to go to Philly? I guess maybe Nick Foles can come back to Philly, maybe, right? Lead them to the Super Bowl. And just like there are not very many free agent quarterbacks that are young enough to really build that franchise back up. Because let's just be honest, the Eagles, yes, they got hot late in the year. I get that. But they didn't play a damn good quarterback since week 9 of the season, Combs. So from week 9 on, they were playing subpar teams, including the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I know I just said the Dallas Cowboys were Super Bowl contenders, but they were playing subpar when they played them. So, the Eagles have a lot of building to do, and it's a 3 or 4 year process. So ride it out with Hurts, and then maybe a good quarterback will come around in the 2023 draft.
You don't think they played a good team after week 9?
Yeah, a good quarterback. So therefore, yeah, not really a good team. So yeah.
They played the Broncos. They played the Saints.
Not
Both of those teams have their quarterbacks.
Saints did not. The Saints started Ian Book that game, if I'm not mistaken.
The Saints and Broncos were both 1 game away from being playoff teams.
But were they playoff teams?
Oh my God.
No, they weren't.
Okay. The Giants, I'll give you. The Jets, I'll give you. Washington's a good football team.
Did they make the playoffs?
Oh my God. So if you're not a playoff team, you're not a good team then.
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of how their standard is, right, Holmes? Because think about this: are there playoff teams firing their head coaches because they're not good?
Bad teams are firing their head coaches, but the Colts didn't make the playoffs. Would you consider them a good team?
Not.
The Los Angeles Chargers didn't make the playoffs. You didn't consider them a good team? They're above 500.
They are
the Miami
a good
Dolphins
team,
are above
but they're
500.
not there yet.
What about the Cleveland Browns? You don't consider them to be a good team?
No.
The Baltimore Ravens, you didn't consider them to be a good team?
Nope. Ravens have the worst quarterback in the entire league.
Here we go. The Detroit Lions. They didn't make the playoffs. You consider them to be a good team, Buck?
They're an average team. They are a few pieces away from the Super Bowl.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, here we go. I got him. I got him right here."
But seriously, since week 9, when they played the Chargers, which they beat the Chargers, like, so you can't take that away from them, right? They played the Broncos, Saints. The Saints were on their 5th quarterback in like the last 3 weeks. Giants were trash. Jets. The Washington football team, I get it. They are a good team on paper, but I believe Chase Young was out, right? Their offense was decimated, and the Heineke was their quarterback, and they finished the season 7-10. So I mean, are they good? They have a good defense, but their offense was missing some pieces. So God wouldn't put them at that good category. And then they play the Giants again, and then they play the Washington football team again.
But look, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts does not pass the eye. I mean, look, Jalen Hurts is not that guy.
Right.
He will, if he is the quarterback in Philadelphia next year, he won't be the quarterback past then. After that, they will move on and they will find their guy.
So do they? Because the Eagles do have a lot of draft picks this year. I think they got like 7 or 8 in the first 3 or 4 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. And they get the Colts pick for Carson Wentz, which, that would be like a number 12 or 13 pick as well. Do you package all those picks and possibly go get a quarterback and trade for somebody like Jimmy G or somebody, Dak Prescott? We talked about that earlier.
Well, you're not going to get Dak Prescott. They're not going to trade him in the division.
So you are telling me if the Philadelphia Eagles come with me with 3 first rounds for Dak Prescott, two this year, 1 next year, you aren't trading Dak?
You're not trading Dak. You're not trading Dak inside the division.
I don't know, man. I mean, you
just doesn't
said
happen,
it yourself.
Buck. I mean, it just doesn't happen, though. I mean, not in the division. I mean, outside of the division, yes. Outside of the conference, more likely. Inside the division, absolutely not. Absolutely. Because 2 reasons. 1, if he does make you regret that trade, you don't want him to make you regret that trade twice a year.
Right.
You only want him to make you regret that trade maybe once every 2 or 3 years when you have to play him. So, you trade him inside the division, you're asking for issues.
Yeah, so Alpha Rob says he just doesn't have the arm strength to be a good quarterback. Yeah, every time he throws, it makes me hurt my arm. Do you it was Cam Newton, right? When we sat there and we saw Cam Newton throw a couple years ago, like, man, that looks terrible. That looks hurtful. Like, that's what it looks like when Jalen Hurts throws the ball. Is he hurt? Like, have you heard anything about him maybe tearing a labrum or a rotator cuff or anything like that?
So Jimmy G actually, I don't know if anybody has heard this, but he actually is hurt. He like a sprained shoulder or something.
Oh, he hurt his thumb a couple weeks ago. I do know that.
Jalen Hurts did enter his post-game press conference wearing a boot on his right leg.
But would that
wearing a boot?
I mean, I guess like your foot would affect your throwing motion some, I guess, but it just
depending on how much pressure you could put it, or
right.
I mean, he looked fine walking off the field. He looked fine while he was in the game. I mean, I don't know what the walking boot. Yeah, I don't know what the walking boot was exactly for. Was it an ankle? Does he have like a Liz Frank injury? Like what are we looking at there? But yeah, I mean, he could have been hurt, but he's just not that damn good. He's not. I mean, Jalen Hurts is somewhere between a 20 to a 25 ranked quarterback in this league, and that's not very good. Jalen Hurts' numbers are.
This is real life, not
good.
Fantasy people. Just put that out there, Combs. So don't because he was the highest fantasy point getter in the NFL this year, if I'm not mistaken. So just want to put that out there.
Right, but I mean, look, you're talking about a guy who not once twice this year eclipsed 250 yards passing. Twice. 3,144 yards passing, 16 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. You want to talk about, hey, I don't even know if that's good fantasy wise. Like he is not that guy. And Jalen Hurts he makes bad decisions. He has bad checkdowns. To me, he is a more glorified Mitch Trubisky.
I think Mitchell Trubisky just gets a bad rap though.
No, Mitch Trubisky's trash.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
And it's not just because he didn't win. It's
Right.
because when you watch the guy play, it's the same thing I see in Jalen Hurts. There are times where he looks lost. There are times where he looks scared. And he doesn't know how to check down. He doesn't know how to read progressions. He doesn't know. And Jalen Hurts is the same exact way.
So if your quarterback looks lost, isn't that a coaching thing? Like, doesn't that come down to the offensive coordinator or the head coach or the quarterback coach?
Well, you're in Philadelphia. Are you
lost?
surprised that there's a coaching issue in Philadelphia?
Well, you see, like, I still have this mindset that Andy Reid is the coach at Philly, so where they had that great staff for 15 years, right? I mean, yes, I know he's been in Kansas City for 7 years or 6 years now,
right?
But like,
and Carson Wentz got Doug Peterson fired, so he's no longer there,
right? Which Doug Peterson's coming to Chicago, right?
God, I hope so.
But like, when a quarterback looks lost, that tells me three things here. One, either you have poor planning, poor coaching, so like the meetings aren't held well, because when you come into your meetings on Wednesday in the NFL, 9 times out of 10 your coaches should have already put 20 hours of work into the game plan, into what plays you are going to run that week. Printed everything out, have it in a nice little 2-ring binder notebook, handing it to the quarterback, say, hey, these are the plays that we are going to run on Sunday afternoon. So when you watch film on Wednesday, when you do your walkthroughs, when you have your offense of like meetings, you should be taking that all in right there. So that tells you that it's probably bad coaching on the flip side of the coin. So then option number 2 is, maybe he wasn't studying the playbook. Maybe he is a dumb quarterback. Maybe he just doesn't understand the West Coast terminology or this kind of terminology, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or 3, maybe he just shits the bed when the moment comes, because sometimes players,
or maybe it's all the above.
True. Maybe it is all above. So let me ask you this question before we move on to the Bengals here. Would you rather have Baker Mayfield or Jalen Hurts as your quarterback if you're the Philadelphia Eagles?
Oh, Baker Mayfield.
Really?
Baker Mayfield. It's not even a question. I mean, I wouldn't even think twice.
With Baker Mayfield because I don't think Baker Mayfield on this Eagles team beats the Bucs by any means. Don't get it twisted, but I think it's probably at least a more competitive game. Do you think that?
Yeah, absolutely. Any type of quarterback makes this a more competitive game. And it's just, look, Jalen Hurts, again, like, I like Jalen Hurts as a person. I like Jalen Hurts as an athlete. I hope that he does well. He's just not that guy. He's just not. And I didn't expect them to fare well against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I expect them to make it a tighter game than it was. I said it was going to be a closer game than most people thought. I mean, I laughed at Wayne G when he said it was going to be 38-6.
Yeah, you did.
I laughed at him. It was damn near 38-6.
Yeah.
I mean, so, they scored all 15 of their points when they went into the fourth quarter down 31-0.
Right.
So Jalen Hurts just is not. He's just not that guy. And the faster the Eagles move on from him, the better off they'll be for it.
Yeah, so, and then, like, I sat here on the same show saying that I thought the Eagles had a legitimate chance. I believe our super fan over there, Drew, and maybe even Alpha Rob, said that the Eagles were going to beat the Bucs because they were averaging 189 yards rushing in the last 9 weeks of the season. They had they won, what was it, 6 out of their last 8 games to finish out the season, yada yada yada. But then we look, but then I didn't do the due diligence of actually looking in to see who they played, and who they played definitely tells me why they won 6 games, how they snuck into the playoffs. So yeah, the Eagles are just a very very bad team at the end of the day. Speaking of very very bad teams, I said
I
here.
see Alpha Rob too, by the way.
What did he say?
I see Alpha Rob's comment. He said, I don't know, Combs. Trubisky might get a Super Bowl ring. I see what you did there.
No, he won't.
Buffalo Bills fan.
Buffalo. So, hey, let's talk about this legitimately because Mitchell Trubisky was he released or just didn't get signed for the Bears? But either way, he was a free agent that the Buffalo Bills did pick him up. Do the Buffalo Bills release Mitchell Trubisky this year? And does Mitchell Trubisky find a starting job with the Cleveland Browns, with the Philadelphia Eagles, with the Miami Dolphins, with the Houston Texans? Does he find a starting job?
They'll keep Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky will never have a starting job in the league. He'll be a career backup, which is what he should be.
Right.
He fits well in Buffalo. He likes Buffalo. He said before he feels welcomed in Buffalo. And you're sitting behind a quarterback in Josh Allen who, isn't very injury prone, knock on wood. I mean, Josh Allen's a lot of fun to watch. I hope that he stays healthy most of his career. And, if if they're down by 47 points or if they're up by 47 points, or if for whatever reason they've got the division sealed up and they can let Mitch Trubisky play week 17 and week 18, then he'll get his time. But that's the quarterback that Mitch Trubisky is.
See, and I would rather have who was the quarterback they drafted from Georgia? What is his name? His name's still in my mind right now. I think they cut him actually for the Buffalo Bills. Oh, what is his stupid name? But whatever. It doesn't matter.
I can't remember.
It was a quarterback from Georgia. They drafted him like the 4th or 5th round, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he play? He actually played week 17, didn't he? I think it was. A couple snaps.
Number 9.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I can't remember his name either. Yeah. That just shows how good he was. Because he couldn't stay above Mitch Trubisky. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
If you're the Eagles, would you rather have Jalen Hurts or Mitch Trubisky?
Mitch Trubisky. Like I actually like Mitchell Trubisky. Not because, it would just piss you off. Like if he got a starting job somewhere, that would definitely make my day. Alpha Rob said Jake Fromm. That's right. Fromm was his name. But I think Mitchell Trubisky kind of got a bad rap in Chicago. I think he took all the blunt of the blame from Matt Nagy, and Mitchell Trubisky could have been your guys' franchise quarterback. He could have been your guys' leading quarterback there. I mean, he led you guys to the playoffs twice. I mean, they had a 13-3 season, right? Or was it 14-2? I can't remember. And
Jake Fromm.
Yeah, that's what I said like 5 minutes ago. But but
I'm sorry. I'll start listening to the show now. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think Mitchell Trubisky would be good in Philly. To be honest, I like Mitchell Trubisky in Cleveland, in Philly, in Miami. I don't know if he would be good in Houston or not. Hell, I would like Mitchell Trubisky back in Chicago with a new head coach.
Ooh. No.
I think he's better than Andy Dalton.
Are we up against a break or something?
No.
I don't want to talk about this.
All right, I guess it's time for a break. We'll be right back, guys. Here on the Man Hour.
I'm home from work and relaxing.
I watch Man Hour while doing dishes.
In bed, hiding from your wife and kids.
What do you do when your husband and kid are obsessed with the Man Hour? You watch it with them.
Watch the Man Hour. Check it out.
Have you ever wanted to go to Vegas to see the NFL draft? Well, now you can. Simply head over to youtube.com/Man Hour, click on that join button, become a $5.99 member or higher, and you get free entry. Simple as that. So head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and hit that join button. You won't regret it.
You're watching Man Hour. Hit that like button, baby.
Man Hour Nation, it's your boy BC Beastie Brandon Combs coming to you with a special message. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Now, that's 22 too many. And here at the Man Hour, we want to bring awareness to this. Our brothers and sisters deserve our support and our help. With the Take 22 merch, it's a small opportunity to show our appreciation and support to our veterans and take a small step to ending veteran suicide and treating PTSD properly. Every dollar spent on our Take 22 merch will be donated to the cause. So Man Hour Nation, rise up and show your support.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheisel and Brandon Combs and I here. Boys are back in town a little bit here. We've had a little bit of a shaky show, but hey, got to work out the groove sometimes, Combs. And by the time we work it out, I'll be back on the days again. And bada bing, bada boom. I feel
the
bad.
only thing that's been shaky is the thing that's always shaky, which is your takes.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, there have been 3 positive things on the show, right? Kev absolutely destroyed you on the whole bad play call, right? Even though you fans, 83% of you said that the Dallas Cowboys made the wrong call. But hey, we'll move past that. Number 2, I haven't left you on mute. That's been a super positive, Combs. And 3, I got nothing.
I'm probably on mute right now.
No, you're not. I was sure I unchecked it before I said that. I just want to make sure.
You got that now?
Yeah, I got that. But guys, we have had a great show tonight. If you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, excuse me, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, of course, iHeartRadio. We are live on Roku TV every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. East Coast time on the Northeast Streaming Sports platform over there. So if you're on Roku TV, check us out. Also, we do have a morning show now, guys, from 10 a.m. to noon every Monday through Friday. Yours truly, and of course, Combs is right here every Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. East Coast time. But Combs, we haven't been on the show for, man, it seems like forever. So how have the nights been going, man? Like, are you still, getting the guest on, having good times, and like, what's going on?
Yeah, they've been interesting. A lot of solo shows. Solo shows are tough, man.
Yeah, they are.
Solo shows are tough, especially if you've got no interactions. Luckily, we've got great fan base here on the Man Hour, and so they've kept me busy when I am on by myself. But it's like talking to a wall, basically, is because that's what you're talking to. Like, I'm talking to the camera, and then hopefully every once in a while I'll see a comment come through that we want to talk about, and we get it in there. But it's been going good. We definitely miss the chemistry between you and I when we're on air together. We seem to kill it most of the times, but yeah, no, it's still been good.
Yeah. So a couple of things that I've been kind of forgetting to do is go through the comments here, and Alpha Rob has been active in the comments tonight, and he says Mitchell Trubisky could go back to Chicago with the ball if he gets the head coaching job. How would that legitimately make you feel as a Chicago Bears guy? Just because Justin Fields is your dude, you still have Andy Dalton on the roster and Nick Foles, and if you bring back a guy like Mitchell Trubisky, which was his head coach there in college.
If the Bears hire Brian Daboll and he brings back Mitch Trubisky, all of this Bears stuff behind me will become Packers stuff.
You are talking out your butt there, because I don't believe it.
If they bring back Mitch Trubisky, you're right. It won't become Packer stuff. If anything, it'd become like Lion stuff or Minnesota Viking stuff, because I only like teams that don't win. So it would be Lions or Viking stuff, or maybe a Cowboy. Maybe I become a Cowboys fan.
There you go. Like everybody else is.
Just so I could be disappointed in the playoffs every single year, I'll become a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. So it just like. There is chemistry with a college coach just because, you become a man in college. Like, let's just be honest. Like, Mitchell Trubisky was there for five years. He was a little 17-year-old dumb kid, young, dumb, and full of cum, right? And now he is a man. And 10 years after the fact, he's like 25, 24 years old. And so
Can you say that on TV?
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
Oh God, he did it twice.
Oh, can we not say cum?
Oh God, 3 times. All right.
Oh baby, come. But yeah, so I mean, but like, anyways, it's just like I feel like there would be that good chemistry because didn't North Carolina win a big bowl game that particular year? Like it was their best season ever. Was it a New Year's 6-day bowl that they won? I mean, I obviously that was like forever ago, like 5 years ago, right? And I can't remember for sure, but obviously Mr. Trubisky blew up that year because nobody knew who he was, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears. I mean,
yeah, and nobody still knew who he was. It was absolutely atrocious. I don't. Speaking of absolutely atrocious, down already 14-0. Kyler Murray's about to take a sack in the end zone, so he just tosses the ball into the air where the Rams pick it off, and now they're up 21-0.
And
So-
and you guys told me that the Rams are good, right? Where's that? Where are those guys that
The
are
Rams
dogging
are
me
good.
about
They're up 21-0.
Where are those people that are talking about how bad the car or how good the Cards were? Where are you
That's
haters at
me.
now?
The Cardinals were good. They're 11-5. They're still good.
You know who else was
They
11-5
ain't out of this
last
yet.
year?
There's still 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. They
You know
ain't
who
done.
else-
They can score.
You know who else was really good last year and still sucked?
Cowboys.
Pittsburgh Steelers, 11-5, going to the playoffs.
Yep.
So
And they made the playoffs again this year.
that's because Mike Tomlin is like a great coach. He has never had a losing season in 15 years, 14 years as the
Yeah,
Steelers
that's
head
insane,
coach.
isn't it?
Yeah. So we always talk about GOAT coaches and stuff like that, and we have Bill Belichick, we have Andy Reid. Why is nobody talking about Mike Tomlin? Is because he's only won has he won 2 Super Bowl rings or just 1? I can't remember. But is
Mike
it because
Tomlin's won 2.
yeah, is it because he's consistently not in the Super Bowl, but they're winning every year? Like Mike Tomlin has to be in that conversation now, right?
Yeah. Oh, Mike Tomlin's a Hall of Fame head coach. I'd put him in right now. Mike Tomlin's absolutely a Hall of Fame head coach.
Do you think he would be let me ask.
I mean, I'm sure if you looked it up right now and if you Googled how many coaches have coached 10-plus seasons in the NFL and never had a losing season, I bet you the answer is a really, really short list, and it might only be Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I don't think. Can we think of anybody else? No, because Bill Belichick, he had a losing season when Tom Brady went down, right? And Jimmy G, or not Jimmy G, but Matt Castle came.
Well,
and
yeah,
missed the
he also
playoffs.
coached the Browns, who were really bad.
Right. Well, the Browns are actually up and coming. They had that first year that were really bad, but then he was 500 beyond that point, right?
Yeah.
But-
Let me go. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Okay.
We're gonna figure that out.
While you Google it, guys, if you guys are new here, consider liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel here, youtube.com/manhour. This is a live interactive show, live, raw, and uncut sports talk. As I can say, come anytime I want to, because you guys don't know what it means, but it's provocative. We have
My
talked
wife
about
does.
what?
What?
No, she doesn't, Combs. Weren't you in the group chat when you were there? Don't play dumb with me. Don't play dumb with me. But as Combs' Googling fingers is working, he's on the. You guys can follow us on Twitter at @manhour_Buck, and of course @manhour_Combs, man_hour_radio. Follow the show. We are part of Belly Up Sports Network, guys. Give them a follow as well. We'll be on their TV channel coming soon, February 1st. Unhinged Radio, Big X Sports Radio, Northeast Streaming Sports. And the list is Mike Tomlin.
It is Mike Tomlin. It is Don Shula. And it is George Halas,
I don't know who George Halas is.
coach of the Bears way back in when Papa Bear.
Papa Bear. Was that like the 1940s, 1950s when they're really good, really dominant?
He coached for 11 seasons without a losing season. Don Shula also 11 seasons before he lost. He ended up having a losing season, but he coached 11 seasons before he had a losing season.
And Mike Tomlin's on
And-
year 14, right?
And Mike Tomlin, yeah,
Mike
has
Tomlin.
never had a losing season as a head coach.
Yeah. Well, would you consider 8-8 a losing season?
Well, I mean, it's not a winning season, but you can't call it a losing season either. It's a
should be.
push, right?
Yeah, whatever. We all know about pushes. But anyways, guys, let's get into some more sports talk here. And the best team in the world, Chili Chi just subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Chili Chi, for subscribing here. Definitely appreciate that. We see Javier in the chat. He said, Don always, LOL. Not for sure what that means. When they played real football.
What's up, Javi?
What's going on, Javier? So, guys, as you guys know, I am a Chiefs fan, and the Chiefs flexed on the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. Actually not, guys. That first half had me legitimately scared. It was like 9 punts in the first quarter and a half, Combs. It was absolutely dreadful. But then the Kansas City Chiefs turned it on. They scored 5 touchdowns in 10 minutes, Combs. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Bucs heads and 10 Buckhead minutes, Combsy. That's how they did it. Are the Kansas City Chiefs back, Combs? Are they back? Are they ready to flex in the entire NFL, make it to the 3rd straight Super Bowl?
Don't go flexing out your Chiefs fandom now. You can't do that while you're wearing a Cowboys hat. You can't be flexing out your Chiefs fandom, talking about, are the Chiefs back? No, look, we're not doing that right here. That's not what's happening. Okay, because the Chiefs, yes, they looked very good against the Steelers. Top 15, top 16 Steelers defense.
You're gonna go there, huh?
But you're not going to do that against the Buffalo Bills. You're not going to do that against the Tennessee Titans. You're not going to do that against who else is left in the AFC? You have the Bills, Titans, Chiefs, and Bengals. You're not going to do that against the Bengals either. So the Chiefs are not back. The Chiefs are still one of those teams that takes advantage of bad defenses, and when they play good defenses, they tend to struggle, and that's what happens. And they're going to struggle this week when they play the Buffalo Bills, and they're going to struggle against Buffalo, and they're going to lose to the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and pause you on that little upset alert train there, because that's not going to happen at all, because you're at Arrowhead freaking Stadium. We wave the sage around the stadium there, Colmsy. We don't lose no more at Arrowhead because D Ford is no longer there and can't line up 6 yards off sides and get Tom Brady the same play twice. But we digress from that, Colm. Because
what happened the last time earlier this season when Buffalo walked into Arrowhead? They put an ass whooping on them and beat them 38-20.
Okay.
In Arrowhead.
That's regular season, Combs. This is playoff time.
Oh, stop.
Playoffs is a different
animal. It must be different fans. Must be a different stadium in the playoffs.
It is.
You're right. No, it's not. It's the same damn fans. It's just a different month.
Okay. It is a different month, and because usually when the calendar switches over to January, many quarterbacks don't win, a.k.a. Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen now only has 2 wins he has 3 wins in the month of January, right?
Yeah. Chiefs are going to win. You know why?
Because it's January, baby.
No, because Javier bet on them, on the Bills.
There you go. So the Kansas City Chiefs are back just because, like, many people said, this offense, everybody's caught up to it, yada, yada, yada. No. There's just a learning curve for this offense, Combs. It took time to develop so Mahomes, if you look at Patrick Mahomes from week 4 to week 9, he improved as a quarterback, because what people were doing in Mahomes' early career, they were manning him up on the outside, say, hey, beat us if you can. And that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes was doing. Then since that Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers started playing that 2 deep safety, making them try to nickel and dime it down the field, and Patrick Mahomes wasn't very patient. Since then, he has become a very patient guy. The Kansas City Chiefs have another weapon on that side of the ball named McKinnon. McKinnon was running wild the last 3 weeks here, ever since Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been on the bench with his injury. And you cannot take a guy McKinnon out of this line because he is destroying them. And what is going to destroy the Buffalo Bills is the fact that they are going to try to go toe-to-toe with the Buffalo Bills. Sorry, Alpha Rob, you cannot go toe-to-toes with Patrick Mahomes. You cannot go toe-to-toe with Tyreek Hill. Hell, you can't even go to toe-to-toe with our 5th-string running back in McKinnon that we got as a free agent from Southern Arkansas or something just like that. You guys cannot do it. The Buffalo Bills do not have a chance against the Kansas City Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes is back. Patrick Mahomes, ever since I put hashtag bench Patrick Mahomes, he has improved his game each and every week. Welcome, Chiefs fans. You are welcome. I did the reverse psychology there, and bada bing, bada boom.
Oh my God. You're going to take credit for this now, Cowboys fan? You're not even a Chiefs fan. You're a Cowboys fan and a Packers fan.
There you go.
Oh, now you want to wear your Chiefs? Oh, now. Oh, so what you're doing, what you're telling me is that when the Cowboys lose, you're gonna go ahead and jump on the Chiefs train. That's how it rolls for you.
You guys know this. I'm always a Chiefs fans first, baby. You know that. The only reason why I wore my Cowboys beanie first was to toot your horn, Combsy. I just wanted to push that button like just a little bit, and it worked because Michael Cardi.
It didn't work at all. You're the one that looks like a clown. Do you see me sporting Packers gear because the Bears are out and the and the Packers are in the playoffs? Do you see
just
me
said
with
you were going to become a Vikings fan?
Do you see me with my Kansas City Chiefs helmet up here or my Arizona Cardinals helmet up here? No, I still got my Bears gear up here.
For now.
Because I'm a Bears fan. I'm not a Cowboys / Chiefs / Packers / anybody else who is still in the playoffs fan.
I have two teams, Combs. The Chiefs first and then the Cowboys. You guys know this. And like Alpha Rob says, your defense don't want to see any of Allen, Buck. Yes, we do. We want to see Josh Allen because you guys' running game is so good. Guess what? Chris Jones about to whoop that ass, Alpha Rob. Bring him over. Bring Singletary over here. Chris Jones is going to pull out that AK-47 and get arrested in California again.
And Buck just undid everything that he did with the reverse psychology in one segment. Because this is the same Buck who was so excited about the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to the Super Bowl last week. Oh, they're going to be the Super Bowl. They're talking so much trash. And what did? They lost. Before the season, the Detroit Lions, they're going to win the NFC North. They're going to be 11-5. Talking all this trash. And they won 3 games. And now you're talking all this trash about your Kansas City Chiefs. Talking all this trash about your Kansas City Chiefs, and they're about to lose to the Buffalo Bills.
They are not. So when we look at that Kansas City Chiefs versus the Steelers games, Combs, you know what was so great about that game is that the first quarter was it the first half or maybe the first quarter and a half was so freaking ugly. Hell, the Pittsburgh Steelers had like 23 yards or like they had 24 plays with 23 total yards. Absolutely a shit show. It was a grinded out who was going to punt the ball better at the end of the game, and it did not discourage the Kansas City Chiefs offense. It did not discourage that coaching staff, Eric Bieniemy, your future head coach over there. It did not discourage him, and that is very positive for the Kansas City Chiefs, especially going against the Buffalo Bills, because the Buffalo Bills are a very good team. I'm not going to discredit them whatsoever. They are a very, very good team, but they have not played the greatest team this year in the NFL, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they played them earlier in the season, but that was when the Chiefs were still kind of finding themselves, right? Combs, since Week 6, the Kansas City Chiefs are the number 1 defense in the NFL. The number 1 defense since Week 6. The last 2/3 of the season, they're the best. How can the Buffalo Bills compete with that?
The Buffalo Bills are a better team. The Buffalo Bills have an offense that can compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills have a better defense, and the Buffalo Bills are primed to wax that ass in your own stadium, and you're just going to have to bend over and take it.
I will bend over and take it. Just buy me dinner first, baby. Give me some of that Kate's barbecue. But anyways, Alpha Rob says the Bills defense don't get beat deep. That's okay, Alpha Rob. Guess what? Because Patrick Mahomes has evolved into an even better quarterback.
You know who does get beat deep? Buck from behind.
I don't get it. That must have.
We're not explaining it. Demonetized.
Did that come over
demonetized?
My head? but Alpha Rob says the Bills defense don't get beat deep. That's okay, because if you watch this game, rewind to the third quarter when Patrick Mahomes is rolling out to the right hand side and McKinnon is running in that little flat route. Old Patrick Mahomes would have forced that ball into Josh Gordon and to the end zone. What happened? He dumped it down to McKinnon and got down to the 3-yard line, I think it was, and then ran a shuffle pass, the underneath pass. Bada bing, bada boom. Touchdown, baby. We don't need to beat you deep.
Buck, let me educate you a little bit here, okay?
Back to school. Prove to dad that I'm
when
not a fool.
when the Buffalo Bills played the Kansas City Chiefs, because this is the best way to break it down, right? Is when they played against one another.
Right.
You could say, oh, it was early in the season. You could say, oh, this and that. This was at Arrowhead. This was the Bills. This was the Kansas City Chiefs. Same two teams that are going at it this week.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes was 33 of 54. 33 of 54. 272 yards, threw 2 picks, 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Josh Allen was 15 of 26 for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
Josh Allen carried the ball 11 times for 59 yards and a touchdown. Dawson Knox, 117 yards receiving on 3 catches and a touchdown. The Buffalo Bills have so many different ways to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is not built for this. The Kansas City Chiefs offense is not good enough to beat the Bills defense.
Oh man. So you are telling me offense to offense that the Buffalo Bills are better than Kansas City Chiefs? Let's just weigh it out. Let's weigh it out, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Who are you taking, Colmsy?
Right now, Josh Allen.
Okay, hold up one finger because you're absolutely wrong. Okay. No, just because you got one there. Let's look at the running back core here. Now, when you look at the running back core of the Buffalo Bills, you got Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. Okay, for the Kansas City Chiefs, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which should be back, McKinnon, which is being awesome. And you got Gore, and you got Damian Williams, and don't forget about all those shuffle passes to Tyreek Hill as well. So, in a running game situation, who are you going to take, the Chiefs or the Bills?
See, that one's a closer one. You had Darrell Williams, who led the Chiefs this year in rushing yards with 558, and the Buffalo Bills run game isn't exactly everything it is out of the backfield. They do a lot of. They've got that old Patriot style, right? They use their running backs as wide receivers out of the backfield. So, if I had to take it, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is healthy and playing this weekend, then I'm taking the Chiefs. If Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not healthy, I would take the Bills running game.
See, and I take the exact opposite. If Clyde is playing, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills running game because Clyde is just, he hasn't really impressed me this year like he did last year. McKinnon, however, he has exploded the last 4 or 5 weeks, and he definitely deserves a bulk of the carries. But I will take the Kansas City Chiefs rushing game. Now, let's look at the wide receiver core here. Now, when you look at the Buffalo Bills receiver core, you have Knox, which is a very good talent. Don't get twisted. Stephon Diggs, a little overrated, but hey, we'll go there. And then you got Zach Moss, with out of the backfield because they do the Patriot way. Cole Beasley, and then Emmanuel Sanders. Versus the Chiefs, you have McCole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Byron Pringle, and Josh Gordon. Which receiver core are you going to take?
So let's break this down position by position, right? Dawson Knox, Travis Kelce, probably a wash, but just
Really,
as
a
good.
wash?
You could take either tight. Yeah, oh yeah. They're both top 5 tight ends in the game right now.
I agree with that 100%.
You go Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, same exact wide receiver, so they wash.
Okay.
Where you get it to the Kansas City Chiefs is when you get to McCole Hardman. And McCole Hardman is the X factor for the Kansas City Chiefs heading into this game. So if I'm going based solely off of wide receiver core, I think the Chiefs have a slight edge with McCole Hardman.
See, and I think McKenzie, I forget his first name, McKenzie for the Bills and McCole Hardman are kind of the wash as well. Where I give the edge to the Kansas City Chiefs is Byron Pringle. He has stepped up the last few games and has stepped up where we expected Josh Gordon to step up, which he hasn't. Now let's go to the offensive line. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have a better, powerful offensive line than the Buffalo Bills. Thoughts?
False.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills offensive line is much better than the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. They protect Josh Allen much better than the Kansas City Chiefs protect Patrick Mahomes, which is a big reason why they've had so many issues this season offensively.
See, and I think this offensive line is more of a run blocking offensive line. So when teams keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, that is where the Chiefs fail because for one, this is not a very good or very great pass blocking offensive line, and Patrick Mahomes likes to roll the ball, roll out more. So I think this is a wash on the offensive line things there. So what we're looking at here is basically we're looking at a very even offensive threat per position by position, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to say that the Buffalo Bills are heads and shoulders above the Kansas City Chiefs, that's absolutely a false.
That Buffalo
statement.
Bills front seven is one of the best front sevens in all of football, and they are going to wreak havoc on the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line, much like they did early in the season. And they are going to wreak havoc, and they are going to cause Patrick Mahomes into uncomfortable situations, and he is liable to turn the ball over once or twice again.
Right.
That is where the Bills are much better than the Kansas City Chiefs, because the Kansas City Chiefs do not have the front seven that's going to beat the Buffalo Bills offensive line.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely 110%. That's where this ball game is won.
So Alpha Rob, I do see your stat or see your comment. They're not saying that I don't know who Gabriel Davis is, right? I don't know who he is because I think he caught one ball versus the Chiefs for like 6 yards. So I mean, I don't watch a lot of Buffalo Bills ball, but when they do, that Gabriel guy does not jump off the screen at me at all. So I don't pay a lot of attention to him unfortunately. So Javier, it looks like you got a Jaguar as your pitcher. That's kind of weird. Isn't he a Miami fan? What is his pitcher? That's weird. But anyways, so let's get away from the Chiefs-Bills talk here a little bit because go ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit here was Big Ben's final game, right? When Antonio Brown went on his tirade and then went on this podcast and talked about it and like all that stuff, he said that Big Ben has a lot left in the tank. We saw Big Ben's final 2 games because they were must-see TV. Does Big Ben play anymore in Pittsburgh?
No, I think Big Ben's done in the NFL. I think he retires. You're not going to see Big Ben in another NFL game, and you shouldn't. It's time for him to go. He doesn't play at the same level as he used to, and so it's time for him to hang him up and enjoy his Hall of Fame retirement. That's what he is. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He should enjoy retirement, watch his young kids grow up, and hope that his daughters never have to go through anything that he put girls through while they're in college.
Come on, man! You had to go there for that.
I mean, look, I'm a Big Ben guy. I don't mind Big Ben on the field. I think that maybe not all the stuff that he went through in his young career was necessarily more than a, money grab per se. So I jest when I say stuff like that, pandering to the crowd because I know how Drew feels about him.
Yeah, Drew is a big Ben supporter, right? He loves Big Ben and would welcome him to his house any day of the week. If you guys do not understand sarcasm, that is sarcasm, meaning Drew hates Big Ben. So Combsy, it's been a ride tonight. I will be on tomorrow at 10 a.m. guys, right here on youtube.com/manhour for the morning show. Combsy, you'll be back on tomorrow night at 8 p.m., right? Or do you got basketball tomorrow? Or
no,
volleyball?
We're good tomorrow.
All right, so Combs will be live tomorrow night, guys. I'm live tomorrow morning. Drew says sit and rotate, Buck. I am sitting and I am rotating, and it feels amazing, baby. Anyways, Combs, sit us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.
I'm tired, guys. Give me a break. What? what did Javier say? You guys so weird.
He said I'm sleeping watching you guys.
Oh. Is that good or bad?
He works a lot.
I know. But is that good? Like, are we keeping him awake? Go to sleep,
I think it's
Javier.
good.
Go to sleep, man. All right, guys. Have a good night. We out.
Rockabye, baby.